Hi there! Welcome back for assignment number 4. This vlog is going to talk about German Golden Age of film, and specifically German Expressionism. And we'll be talking about 2 different films, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Metropolis. So first we got to cover what German Expressionism means, and this is what the textbook says. This idea that the look or style of the visible external universe can take its shape, color, and texture from the artist's intuition of its essential inner being or from internal human sensations. Critics assigned a single term, Expressionism. So it has its very, very deep roots in painting and the artistic direction. This externalizing the internal psyche is very evident in the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. They painted very, very crazy shapes, very linear shapes onto the set, which embodied this disturbed mind of Francis. In Caligari's office in particular, the floor has these little squiggly lines, and they all point directly to his desk, and it creates this very strong focal point. It makes his desk or his mind become the epicenter of all that is evil, at least in Francis's mind. There was another scene that really stood out to me as very mature in the murder scene where the camera angle cuts to the victim's hands being outstretched, and that's when we really go from being like a subjective viewer, just from like being like a fourth wall and like a theater, witnessing a stage, to being from the angle that the killer would have. And being an audience member, it's quite frightening, and you can empathize with the victim. And I thought that was really cool, and that we would definitely see that kind of shooting in later films. Metropolis does fit that definition of the German Expressionism because it starts out as very, very linear and square, representing this like stiff, immobile position of the working community. They can't go anywhere, they're stuck there. But then this changes rapidly once they start the riot, and the camera angles at diagonals, and things are moving at a diagonal, and it's just pure chaos. And in both instances, that reflects the psychological state of the workers. As mentioned in the lectures, I definitely did think of Tim Burton movies, as well as Laika Studios. Laika did Coraline, for example, and I also think of Corpse Bride. When they go into the underworld, the artistic direction it inhabits that same kind of twisted feel, kind of creepy, but also enticing too. Like when we were going down that hallway, Caligari, it's really not a hallway but an alleyway, and your mind can't help but follow those lines, the lyrical kind of lines on the walls. And the idea of the kind of unpredictable or unreliable narrator, the most recent movie I can think of is a movie called Unsane. I didn't get to see it, but I did see previews, and that kind of technique or tool is most often going to be seen in psychological thrillers like that. I think Gone Girl's kind of like that too. I also haven't seen that one, but I'm very familiar with it. I hadn't seen either of these movies, and at the very least, it was really cool to see this origin of more fantastical kind of movie, either in the supernatural aspect or the science fiction feel. I got a lot of original Twilight Zone episodes from Metropolis. Then, of course, you can build up through the decades and how each artwork affects the next. It was a great opportunity to see these classic films.